Hope in finding Nancy Guthrie now honed in on pending DNA tests amid widespread confusion on social media and conflicting reports. NewsNation's Brian Entin joining us to clear up some of the confusion live from Tucson.
Breaking news from the Stream Center. Here's JB Biunno.
My goodness, what a weekend it was as Nancy Guthrie remains missing amid new reports coming out over the weekend, but still, we do not know where the 84-year-old is and whether or not this video will lead us to results anytime soon. Welcome into the Stream Center, folks. JB here with us, or JB here with the entire team on stream, including, I want to get right to him, NewsNation's Brian Entin, bringing him in live from Tucson. Brian, it's good to have you back on stream. Let's just start with, how are you?
Hey, JB, it's good to see you too. I'm okay. Yeah, it's been guys, 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since I've been here today. I'm kind of lost track of the days, but no, everything's going okay. Just hoping maybe this will be the week where we finally, get some answers here, and love to have a happy ending with Nancy Guthrie. So we're all just kind of on pins and needles,
Yeah, we all want a happy ending. Of course, we see Savannah Guthrie and her first video in several days being posted to social media. I want to recap our audience because, you know me, Brian, I'm going to kind of be a little bit unconventional with my first question here for you right off the bat. But in the last week, Pima County Sheriff's Office and the FBI, then you have a person detained for questioning and released, followed by a nighttime SWAT operation leading to people in handcuffs, a tarp being put over a vehicle next to a Culver's, but no arrests or much of really anything that we know of out of that just yet. You have the glove statement that came out, and that glove statement was written in a way that was confusing to just about everybody, including yourself. You had to read it a few times and make sure that you were understanding it correctly. You have a local station there in Tucson reporting that this is just believed to be a burglary gone wrong, only for that to have cold water thrown on it. Plus, you have rampant speculation from TikTokers, YouTubers, and just the general public that have kind of descended in on Arizona with the world watching. I don't know about you, Brian, but sounds like a pretty good time for a press conference, no?
Yeah, I mean, and every day we kind of wait to see if there's going to be one, and it's been more than a week now since there's been a press conference from the Pima County Sheriff or the FBI, and it's a tricky one to cover because they'll say like, oh, there's going to be no updates today, but then little sort of things, drip out. The FBI will put out a statement, or you'll suddenly, get a text from the sheriff with some information, which is great, but it's hard. It's been hard to track every day. It's been hard in that way. The communication has been a little tricky for sure.
And I know that Sheriff Nanos has been doing some spontaneous interviews. He'll pop up randomly, and I'm thinking, wait, he's providing updates, but only to certain people at certain times. But as far as a press conference could go a really long way in setting the record straight. How challenging has this been for you to cover?
I mean, it's been challenging. I think they want to win. I mean, look, I think it's been back and forth between him and the FBI. And my sense is the FBI is probably telling him not to do any press conferences and to just play it cool right now while they continue to investigate and try to come up with something so that they can have a good update for a press conference. But I think, the sheriff has been under fire, and I think he wants to convey certain messages. And so they'll say that there's not going to be any updates, but then he'll text or he'll do he's close with a lot of the local stations here. So he'll do an interview with a local reporter, and then everyone will start contacting the sheriff's office trying to confirm that information. So it's been hard to cover in that way. But we just take it day by day, really. And just every day, it seems like something kind of comes out every day, something new. And you think it's slow. I mean, Friday night, there was the SWAT raid that we went out on. And then over the weekend was the information about the glove. And so I really get the sense that the next 24 to 48 hours are going to be significant just because of everything that's been happening with the DNA testing. And then, everyone's just kind of discounted this raid on Friday night because there was no arrest. But, they had a federal search warrant, which is not easy to get. So I'm not totally just brushing that aside. I still think there could be something that comes out of that.
Okay, so let's hone in on the DNA, because that could be massively significant, because you have the DNA that's being done on the gloves, DNA testing that's being done on the gloves that were recovered. You also have a separate DNA profile or DNA sample that was picked up in the house itself, right? So all this DNA testing is expected to provide results, but we have a rough timeline, I believe. But I mean, what are the expectations here?
So the expectations are that they're doing the testing right now. You know, the sheriff decided to send the stuff to their Florida lab, which they've used for a long time, and which I hear is a good lab. And so it's all going through them right now. So we're waiting. What I'm hearing is they're still waiting on some results from there. But, you know, like we saw with Koberger, there's another element to this, which has probably started, which is the investigative genetic genealogy. So even if the DNA doesn't connect back the conventional way to, you know, one of the people that they've swabbed so far, and they've swabbed a lot of people, I've confirmed. I mean, a lot of the people they're questioning, they're swabbing for DNA. But so if those come back negative, they've already presumably started the investigative genetic genealogy, which is where they start looking through databases and try to connect the DNA they have to, you know, distant relatives of someone who could be involved.
Right. And this all goes back to Koberger, which of course there's a parallel there. And as I'm breaking this down in my head and trying to understand and get a grasp of this latest development in this story, I'm also just curious because, okay, you mentioned that the FBI is Sheriff Nanos and just advising just the team overall that maybe press conferences right now aren't the most wise option as far as getting information out to the public. That's interesting because there was a bit of reported friction between the agencies and the possible withholding of information and information between the two agencies, even though that has been publicly denied at this point. What I find the most interesting about this is that in essence, are you telegraphing your strategies now to the public? I find this case to be widely peculiar in that we're not getting regular updates, but the updates that we are getting are providing us insight as to where the investigation is focused, including right now with the gloves and then with the signal sniffer. And I'm thinking, is it strange to you? Is it hitting the ear funny to you as it's hitting the ear funny to me that the investigators are okay with the public finding out about their game plan here, the strategy? I mean, it's almost as if you have two football teams and you're making the playbook public. Is it bad to be tipping off a potential suspect as to what they're using as far as DNA and a low-flying helicopter with a signal sniffer, and putting that information out there? Because we have to assume that any suspect out there is following you and following the media at large.
Yeah, it's a good point. And, you know, we're trying to be careful with what we report. I mean, you know how it is when you're out on scenes, there's things you see and hear that you don't report for that reason. And the last thing that I would ever want to do, or hopefully any responsible journalist would ever want to do, is, you know, interfere with the investigation. Because at the end of the day, everybody just wants to see Nancy come home in some kind of resolution. My sense is there's a lot going on that we're not reporting on that we don't know about. Like, for example, the signal sniffer. I just reported that yesterday. Sorry, someone's honking. I just reported that yesterday, and you know, that was used last week. So there was a bit of a delay in us reporting that, and I'm not sure they're even still using it. The helicopter I haven't seen up around the house in days. And in terms of some of the DNA stuff that's coming out, you know, I sense there's a lot that we don't know. So I think the stuff that they're releasing is stuff that they're okay with the public knowing. But I bet there's, you know, tons of stuff that they're doing that we're not reporting on that they would prefer, you know, stay secret right now.
Hi, Brian. It's Garrett Phillips, producer here for the Stream Center. And I just wanted to follow up on this signal sniffer here that they talked about. So is this something that has been used before in similar cases? I know that this is not necessarily a case that has a lot of similar parallels, but is this something that has helped solve cases before? I mean, this is truly the first time I've ever heard about it. So I'm just thinking the audience might want a little bit more of a follow-up on that.
Yeah, I've never heard of it until this case. It was sent in by the FBI, so it's not something that they had here locally. And I actually saw a picture of it. It's a small little box. It's not big at all. It's maybe like 10 inches by 6 inches. and they attach it to the skid. It's actually usually used on drones, but the day that they were using it here, I'm told it was too windy to have a drone up, so they used the helicopter, and they attached it to one of the skids of the helicopter. It's just a little box, and it has to be the helicopter has to stay steady and it has to stay low, which when I saw the helicopter that day, I didn't know anything about the signal sniffer, and I was wondering what was going on because the helicopter was low and it was not moving around a lot. It was just staying, like in one spot. And it turns out that's because they were using the signal sniffer. And basically they hover over an area, and I'm told it has to hover in one spot for at least 3 minutes. And it can pick up signals from Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker. But it also, what makes it like kind of not a perfect science is it also picks up other signals. So I'm told by someone on the ground here who was part of this whole operation when they were using it, that it was picking up all sorts of stuff. I mean, it was seeing our AirPods, reporters' AirPods. It was seeing like smart washer and dryers that have Bluetooth. So it's not like it's like I said, it's imperfect. That's the way it was described to me. But it's a cool tool. I mean, and they may use it again. And if they get right over a spot where Nancy Guthrie is, the hope is that it would pick up her pacemaker.
Hi, Brian. Josh Scott here. You having followed all of the cases that you have in the past, and with everything that's happened here, I feel like we talked about that tone Friday night. We thought maybe there was a break in the case here. Now it feels like maybe there wasn't as much significance to that. What is the tone or vibe of the investigation right now? Does it feel like maybe they have confidence in a certain direction, or does it feel like they're kind of waiting for something to break here?
I mean, I felt a little bit of both, depending on which day. Right now, I'm hopeful, like I said, that something maybe is going to break soon, or there's going to be another big update just because of all the DNA that they've gathered, because I'm told they've likely started the ancestral DNA process, which, is huge. So my sense right now, I have hope right now. And people have said, oh, is it a cold case? I mean, I don't think it's cold because look, I mean, it wasn't that long ago we got the images from the doorbell camera, from the Google Nest camera, which was huge. And now they're starting to look into, there's reporting now that the clothes came from Walmart in addition to the backpack. So, this is going to take time as they go to all the Walmarts in the area and try to find out who bought that backpack, who bought those clothes, who bought the gloves. So it's definitely not a cold case by any means. So I'm hopeful right now. I feel pretty hopeful.
Brian, as a follow-up here to that DNA question, actually, I had seen reports from NBC News that authorities were leaning away from family members at this time involving obviously the Guthries. Is that because of DNA results? I know that they had swabbed a lot of people in and around the home. So I just wanted to know if that report was because of DNA results or if that's what you're hearing.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. I saw that report too. I don't know why they're reporting that. I would assume part of it is from DNA results and just the rest of the investigation. I always, I'm interested in the NBC News reports and when they have sources, just because, as we know, I mean, Savannah Guthrie is a longtime NBC anchor, and I would imagine, they're also in communication with her. So, I am very interested in the things that they report according to sources. So I don't know where that reporting came from. I would imagine it's partially because of DNA swabs and just, the rest of the investigation. And at the same time, I mean, the sheriff has said every day, as recently as last night, that they're also not ruling anyone out at this point. So I think we just have to kind of wait and see.
All right, so what we're going to do here for the next 10 minutes here with Brian Entin here on the live stream here, folks, is we're just going to now just start looking at your questions, and you can punch in your questions to heyjb.live. We're only taking questions from there for the time being, just because the YouTube chat, there's so many questions coming in so fast. I can't keep track. Josh can't keep track. So that system's a little bit easier for us to actually get questions from. There's no sign up required or anything like that. No gotcha moment. It's just a simple, basic form. So you go to, in your web browser, go to heyjb.live in a web browser, and you can just punch in your question for Brian, and we'll get to as many of them. We also have a poll question that I'm going to ask Brian about here in just a second, but this is what the form looks like here with this phone next to me on your screen. Brian, real quick about the gloves, because I forgot to ask you this about the gloves. There were a lot of gloves that were uncovered, and as far as challenges, we're talking about black gloves that are said to match the gloves that we see on the now, viral Ring doorbell cam video. But there were a lot of black gloves recovered. I think of it as dropping a deck of cards on the ground, asking somebody to find the ace of spades, and then throwing about another, 24 or so ace of spades on the ground and say, find the right one. It just seems to me like that had to have provided some complications, but they seem to have honed in on this particular set of black gloves.
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical of how the gloves are going to pan out, just because there's so many black gloves around here, and where they found those gloves. At least that one set was 2 miles away on a really busy road where there's a lot of trash along the roadway. Marnie Hughes from NewsNation was out there, and I was just looking at her video. And, and I'm also told by local, there's a lot of homeless people around there. And would this guy actually, this suspect have just thrown the gloves out the car window? It's possible. So I don't know. I'm waiting to see where that goes. I'm much more interested in the DNA that they collected from inside the house that is not connected to Nancy or anyone in her inner circle, because that's actually the crime scene. So that to me, I think could end up being more promising in terms of helping. And there's actually, I'm just gonna look, there's a helicopter now. Hold on, let me look real quick.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's way up there. I don't think
Where
it's the
are you,
sheriff's
by the way? You look like you're in the wilderness.
Yeah, I'm outside Nancy's house, so this is kind of where I stay most of the time when there's not any updates. So it is like very, I'm from Florida, like where you are, JB. So I'm not used to. There's a lot of cactuses and stuff. It's very different vibe here.
Right before Brian joined the stream, as we were in mic checks, Brian said, I have to sit on a box. And Brian Entin should never have to sit on a box.
Please.
I wish we could trade chairs today. I wish I could take the box and you could take the office chair. I feel like you need it more than I do. And now we're going to get to the questions coming in, but I want to ask our audience here as well this question. I want to ask, Brian, your perspective on this question, because it's our poll question on our website and people are already starting to vote. You can see the vote counter on the bottom of your screen. The mass attention on this case. I mean, clearly people have, law enforcement, Savannah Guthrie herself, asking for people to participate. Tens of thousands of tips, likely as far as the amount of tips coming into law enforcement. Do you believe that the mass attention in this case is more helpful or more harmful to the Guthrie investigation, given that, when you have this much attention, it can create complications as well?
So some of it I think is helpful. Obviously, they released the photos for a reason, and the FBI doesn't normally like to release photos unless they need the public's help. So I think overall helpful because they're asking for help. And we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. I mean, some of the best tips coming in based on those photos are probably from people who just saw them on the news or on social media. Where I think it's an issue is people online who are, and I have nothing against, YouTube journalists and there's a lot of responsible people out there. But where I think it's an issue, and I go back to even Gabby Petito and when we covered Kohberger, is when people start posting photos of people who they think are involved. And that just kind of bothers me. That's where I think it gets a little out of control, just because I've seen so many times where, most of the people who are suspected end up not being involved. And, you really drag these people through the mud when, imagine that stuff stays online forever. So I just think people need to be careful about that.
Yeah. And we've seen way too much of it. And I'm sure we'll talk more about that later. But in the meantime, while we have you here for just a few minutes, let's get to some of the questions and comments that have been coming in on our website for Brian Entin. Again, submit yours at heyjb.live. That's just a place that's easier for me to read them. So Kathy and Lindsay were the first two to get in questions. Kathy asked about the postcard from APL that was on Nancy's door. And was someone concerned prior to her abduction? We also have Lindsay here talking about the business card from APS. So clearly a lot of focus here in our chat from that angle.
Yeah, and that's an interesting question. It's interesting. This helicopter is right here. There is a business card in the door, and we zoomed in on it last night, and I saw it, and it is from Adult Protective Services from an investigator. It seems like it's been in the door for a while because we went back and looked at our video from a couple days after we got here, and it was still in the door. But I actually texted the sheriff and asked him about it, and I haven't heard back. So I don't know I don't know where it came from or what it means, honestly, but it is there.
Maisie wants to know, has there been any contact with the family outside of the pre-recorded messages? Do you know Savannah by any chance? I mean, you know, in your reporting, have you ever run into her?
No, I mean, I'm a fan of hers. I've always liked just watching her like a lot of other people. And I've, you know, from colleagues who have known her, worked with her, it sounds like everything you hear about her is true. I mean, in terms of just being a genuinely nice, good person, which, you know, at that level, there's just so many like jerks, you know, and apparently she's not one of them. So I think that's true. She sounds like a really, really good person. But no, I've never met her before. And I just, every time one of those videos comes out, you know, it's just so heartbreaking. It just reminds you of like how sad this is.
Yep. How Connie wants to know, hashtags for us both, how could this be a burglary gone wrong when nothing was stolen but Nancy? You must have seen that report from the local CBS affiliate last night as well.
Yeah, I was skeptical of that report just because the people who I've been in touch with haven't told me that. I don't think they know. That's why I was kind of like, that's an interesting report. Because I mean, there's a lot of theories out there, you know? I don't think there's one theory that they're 100%, you know, going with right now. So yeah, and we don't know for sure. I mean, the sheriff has never fully answered whether anything was stolen, but you know, the sense is, based on when you put everything together that they've told us, is that there wasn't, you know, a bunch of stuff, jewelry stolen from the house or anything like that.
Right. Bethany says, why use a signal sniffer if they're only doing it over her house? We know she's not there, so it seems to be a waste of resources. Why not fly around other neighborhoods? I mean, where have you seen this low-flying chopper? Let's start there.
Yeah, and they may have. I just saw it at the house. I know the signal sniffer was at the house because I actually saw it, but you know, it went other places too after that. I didn't follow the chopper. And if you, I mean, a lot of people on social media like track the chopper, and you know, it does circles a lot of places. So I'm sure they didn't just use it at the house. They probably used it in other places too.
Let's see. Oh, this is a great question. R. Haynes, will the signal sniffer still work if Nancy isn't alive?
It's my understanding, yes. I think the pacemaker stays, you know, charged up. So, yes, from what I understand, it would.
Let's go to this question from T. Juddy. Again, all these coming into our website, heyjb.live, is the last call, because if you don't get yours in now, probably won't be able to get it in for Brian, as he only has a few more minutes with us. Do you think the glove DNA might be a distraction and they have more leads that they're finalizing? I think it's fair to say that this is a comprehensive investigation, right, Brian? And the DNA is just a part of it?
100%. Yeah, I think it could totally be a distraction. I think there could be a lot. Like I think I said it earlier. I think there could be a lot that we don't know about, and it could be a surprise when something goes down and it's like, oh my gosh, we were so focused on the glove and it had nothing to do with the glove.
Look, Brian, I know this question. I hate shying away from questions. I like to really hone in on what people say. So I know this is a difficult one for you to answer. So given that you're there on the ground with this case, but I'm going to throw it up because, look, there's been a lot of people expressing frustration with the seemingly difficult and complex nature of this investigation, with how it's being handled by the FBI and the McKinney County Sheriff's Office. So PM Dunn says, do you feel like the Sheriff Department has done their best in handling this case?
I mean, look, there's a lot of people who are upset with the way the sheriff has handled the case. It's interesting coming here and just talking to so many deputies and former deputies. And there's been a lot of drama with the sheriff's office for a long time here that just wasn't in the national spotlight. There's been a lot of turnover. I was interviewing a sergeant yesterday who was telling me that, you know, the homicide team right now has like 2 to 4 years experience on average. A lot of the experienced people have retired. They're short-staffed. So I think criticism of the sheriff's department is definitely fair. I think there's a time and place. I mean, obviously, I think the focus right now should stay on finding Nancy, and I'm sure when that hopefully happens afterwards, everybody can look back and look at everything that was done wrong. But even the sheriff has admitted that essentially that he made some mistakes, you know, clearing the crime scene. And yeah, I mean, there's definitely been drama between them and the FBI. I know that because I've talked to people on both sides. So I think it's fair right now to be critical of the sheriff for sure.
Alexa says, you know, one thing that's missing from this case, Brian, that really sticks out to me is any vehicle component. And so we've gotten a bunch of questions about that. Alexa saying, I've seen reports that the traffic cameras don't record vehicles. What is the purpose of the cameras if they don't record and can't help in situations like this? And it's so standard for stories that you and I have covered in the past for there to be some kind of vehicle discussion taking place. And this one completely absent. So what do you make of this one?
Yeah, and I've thought about the traffic camera thing too, and there are other states too, just from covering other stories I've done, crime stories, where the traffic cameras don't record. So that's not uncommon. But yeah, I mean, a vehicle would be huge. My sense is the suspect or suspects, and there could be more than one, walked in they parked the car somewhere else and walked through the desert or walked. I mean, it's so dark out here. There's this ordinance here that you can't have outside light at night because there's so many stargazers, and it is beautiful. The stars out here are insane at night, but it's also pitch black. So it would be very easy to, park a half a mile away and then walk into Nancy's neighborhood and you would not be spotted.
Gabriel, I think we already answered this question, but you know what? Considering Brian's got to go here. Let's, thank you for your reporting on this case, Brian. My question is, being so invested in the reporting on this case, how do you see this case ending? Cold or solved? At what point do you decide the case is cold and you stop reporting on the scene? This is a tough one for you and News Nation to figure out, right? Because you're there every day, but you can't be there forever. So right now you're on the case. So again, to the question, how do you see the case ending, and when do you decide, what your future is as far as reporting on this case?
I think it will be solved. I really do, in my gut, just because, you've got President Trump talking about it constantly. I mean, he's got the full weight of the FBI working on it. The way they got the Google video, which has never been done before to our knowledge. I mean, she didn't have a subscription. They allegedly didn't record the video, but then they somehow found the video. So I think they're going to do things in this case that are like extraordinary because there's so much pressure on the FBI and there's so much pressure on the sheriff too. So I think those things combined, I do think it'll be solved. In terms of when we stay or go, I mean, I don't think we have any plans of leaving. I'm like, I always feel like I'm like the last one standing at these things. Like everyone leaves and I'm still sort of like standing there in the dark. So that's probably will be the case here too, I'm sure.
Dalen, question, does Brian know how much he's appreciated by everyone for his amazing coverage and dedication? It's great to have someone who sticks to the facts and doesn't spread rumors. Thank you, Brian.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
The appreciation has been everywhere on social media. Let me just end. I've always asked you this question on like every time I've ever had you on, and people make fun of me for asking you this question, but what are you eating? Are you taking care of yourself?
Oh my gosh, what am I eating?
Are you taking care of yourself? Because you're always out there for days on end, hours. I don't know when you get sleep, but are you taking good care of yourself? And what do you eat?
Yeah. I'm good. I'm fine. And just from that perspective, I have been sleeping enough, I think. And I've been drinking a lot of smoothies. We actually, I don't know if you saw, like there was all this drama that someone got a pizza ordered to Nancy Guthrie's house and like, they ended up making it to the front door. Did you see that, JB?
Yeah, I did.
And so the sheriff's office put out a tweet like, please stop ordering food to Nancy Guthrie's house, which I never did that. But we have been Ubering Eats a ton just because we don't want to leave the scene. And so we always run out to grab it because it's like we're so afraid that that's going to happen again. Like when the Uber Eats person's going to try to walk to Nancy's door or something. But no, Uber Eats has been like really good out here just because you don't want to leave,
Yeah. And I don't think you had the pizza thing on your bingo card for this story. That one threw everyone for a loop. Brian, you're doing amazing work out there. I hope somebody sends this man a smoothie because you're I mean, with a lot of content creators out there doing what they do, of course, I think they're all following you. I think everyone in the comment section would start there saying that they're following you and all the great work you're doing. Anything else you want to pass along before we let you go?
No, that's it. It's good to see you as always, JB. Thanks for having me on.
Great work out there, Brian. And I'm sure I'll talk to you soon, pal.
All right. See you later.